For the discussion this afternoon, our topic will be social and emotional learning of students at home. Before we begin, kindly take note of the following reminders. Make sure you are registered to the webinar to have your e-certificate of participation. Visit certificate.biwalgroup.com to generate your proof of attendance. Place your questions in the comment box allotted during the session and they will be addressed by our speaker later on. Share the video using hashtag LearnAs1PH as our official hashtag to our Vibal webinars. Experience learning, Kabibal. And now to proceed with our webinar this afternoon, it is my pleasure to introduce to you our distinguished speaker. Mr. Martin Kit Guzman is a registered guidance counselor. He attended college at Centro Escolar University in Manila to pursue Bachelor of Science in Psychology. After graduation, he then took up the degree Master of Science in Guidance and Counseling and finished it in 2014, also at Centro Escolar University. He acquired his professional license in counseling in 2015. He was a former guidance counselor at Colegio San Agustin, Makati, and former guidance counselor and professor of psychology at Far Eastern University Institute of Technology, Manila. Presently, he works as a students counselor at Shuruk Al Mamlaka International School in Talif Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. He manages a small blog site. He uses it to write about his views and sentiments on current social issues, education, and mental health. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Martin Kit Guzman.
Magandang hapon, Luzon, Visayas at Mindanao. Siyempre sa mga guro at magulang na naaabot ng Global Group sa iba't ibang panig ng mundo. Kasama na dyan yung mga nasa Saudi Arabia gaya ko. Magandang araw po sa inyo. Ano man ang panahon, gabi man, umaga man o tanghali. Sana po ay nasa mabuti kayong kalagayan. And una po akong nag-present sa Bibal through Facebook Live. And maraming nagtanong kung ano daw yung ibig sabihin nitong baybayin na nakasulat sa ibabaw ng ulo ko. No? Ang ibig sabihin po niyan is, inay, itay, para sa inyo ito. Yan, para po sa inyong lahat yan, mga magulang at mga guro na nagsisilbing magulang para sa mga mag-aaral nila. Gusto ko lang po sabihin no, na masyadong komplikado itong araw na ito kasi Martes ngayon, nasa trabaho po kami. Kahit po may pandemic pa rin dito sa Saudi Arabia, unti-unti naman bumabalik na lahat. Nagiging normal na kahit papano yung mga kalakaran dito sa Saudi Arabia kahit may pandemic pa. Pero kaparehas din yun sa Pilipinas, online classes din ang gagamitin naming platform to deliver our lessons to our students. At sabi ko nga, komplikado ang araw na ito para sa mga guro at administrator na nandito sa paaralan na to. Dahil sa susunod na linggo, next week na po ang pasukan dito sa Saudi Arabia. This is nationwide. And medyo marami-rami pang nakatenggang gawain. Pero dahil mahal ko ang Bibal at ang mga nanonood ngayon, at syempre dahil mahal din ako ng supervisor ko na pinayagan akong gawin to, kahit nasa gitna kami ng busy na trabaho, tuloy tayo ngayong araw dahil walang makakapigil sa karunungan. Ngayon, nais ko na rin gamitin ang sandaling ito para ipaabot ang aking pasasalamat, ang pusong pasasalamat sa aking mga coordinator at supervisor dito sa Suruk Al Mamlaka International School dahil kung hindi dahil sa kanila, hindi tayo magkakasama-sama ngayon. Sir Mark Garcia, Sir Leo Mendoza, Sir B. Barrete, and Sir Jason Glorioso. Salamat po sa suporta. Salamat po sa pagpapahalaga ninyo sa edukasyon. Kahit nandito tayo sa Saudi Arabia, may paparating natin ang ating mensahe para sa mga guro at mga magulang na nasa pagdating ng linggo. Dahil linggo nagsisimula ang klase dito sa school. Now, so much with that, let me share my screen. All right. Simulan itong discussion na ito about social and emotional learning. Parents, teachers, administrators, everyone who is watching, may nais lang po akong linawin at nais ko rin ilapit ito sa kamalayan ninyong lahat. Ano? Tingin ko kasi mahalaga itong pag-usapan, mahalagang dito tayo magsimula dahil malaki ang kinalaman nito sa topic, sa paksa na pag-uusapan natin ngayong hapon. Ito yung gusto kong pag-usapan muna bago tayo magsimula sa social and emotional. When this pandemic started, my dear parents and teachers, one of the more apparent news, isa sa mga madalas na balita that we kept on encountering almost every day is the need for social distancing. Experts like doctors and some politicians would say that in order to stop the spread of the virus, people have to distance themselves away from others and they have to avoid physical contacts. Tama naman, di ba? This, however, for me, this is personal, it raises a concern. We may be interchanging the terms social distancing and physical distancing. Baka nagkakamali tayo sa paggamit ng mga terminolohiyang social distancing at physical distancing. Gusto kong ipaliwanag ito ng maayos hanggat maaari dahil gusto ko dito tayo magsimula. Kapag alam natin ang mga terminolohiyang ito, mas maiintindihan natin kung bakit kailangan ng social emotional learning kahit nasa bahay. At gusto kong patunayan na pwedeng mangyari, posible ito kahit magkakalayo ang mga guro at ang mga mag-aaral. Kahit ang mga magulang ay busy sa trabaho, kahit ang mga magulang ay may pinagdadaanan ng mga problema. For us to stop the spread of coronavirus, balikan natin, para mapigil natin yung pagkalat ng virus, it is correct that we must do the aforementioned practices. Yes, it is correct. You have to distance yourself away from others physically, diba? And you try to examine those activities, it is noteworthy that there are no special things or activities that will tell you that it is social distancing. There are no social distancing practices being done there. Those are purely physical distancing. We can still deal with other people. We can use our phone. We can use the social media. Basically, we can use the internet and other means that do not require us to be physically near with each other. Hindi natin kailangan maging malapit in terms of physical para lang makipag-usap, para lang mangumusta sa mga gusto nating kumustahin. Meron tayong pakikipag-ugnayan. Yan. We can still connect and we can still talk and communicate with the people we care about. These are the people who may need our attention right now. These are the people who may be longing for our stories and our advice. Maaaring ito yung mga tao na nangangailangan na marinig yung boses natin. Sila yung mga nangangailangan na marinig yung kalinawan mula sa atin. Minsan kahit kwento lang, di ba? Yung simpleng kamustahan lang kailangan nila para gumaan ang loob lalo na sa mga panahon ngayon, lalo na sa mga nangyayari hindi lang sa Pilipinas, hindi na rin sa buong mundo. Basically, what I'm trying to say here is we can still be human with them. As humans, we are expected to communicate. We are expected to share our thoughts and concerns. And we are expected to feel emotions. Hindi tayo tuod Tayo ay mga tao. Tayo ay mga taong may nararamdaman. Tayo ay mga taong may emosyon. Di ba? So ang sinasabi ko dito, kahit kailangan mong mag-physical distancing, maaari ka pa rin magpakatao at maging makatao. Kahit lumalayo ka physically sa kapwa, pwede ka pa rin magpakita ng malasakit sa kanila. Maaari ka pa rin magsilbing liwanag, especially sa mga guro, at maaari ka pa rin bumuhat o humawak ng kaliwanagan, especially sa our children. Lalo na doon sa mga tao na napupundi dahil sa pandemyang ito. Yan, ulitin ko ha, kahit nag-physical distancing tayo, pwede pa rin tayong maging makatao. Pwede pa rin tayong maging makatao para sa kanila. Lalo na sa mga nahihirapan, lalo na sa mga may mga pinagdadaan. And this is the very reason why I personally prefer the use of the term physical distancing and not social distancing. Malaking-malaki ang pagkakaiba nila. What am I trying to say here? Because there is a need to physically distance ourselves from others. Dahil may malaking pangangailangan para lumayo tayo or maghiwa-hiwalay muna tayo physically. Even to some of our closest friends, up to extent na pati yung family members natin, kailangan nating layuan, yung mga kamag-anak, our relatives, just to be safe and free from this terrible disease na COVID-19, social and emotional connectedness become more necessary. It becomes more critical. Mas kailangan natin ang social and emotional connectedness ngayon. Kaya huwag natin gagamitin ang social distancing. Kailangan natin gamitin physical distance, social and emotional connectedness. Dahil posible. Maraming paraan para mangumusta, maraming paraan para kausapin pa rin ang ating mga pinapahalagaan sa buhay. Kaya this is the time where we really need connectedness, especially with our loved ones, especially with those people that we really care about. We need to feel acts of humanity from others, and we have to show the same to others more than ever. Kailangan nating magpakatao or maging makatao para sa kanila dahil kailangan din natin yung pagiging makatao nila para sa sarili natin. Ito yung mga mahalagang bagay na talagang kailangan natin ngayon bukod sa pagiging ligtas sa sakit na ito, sa pandemyang ito. Dahil bukod sa physical health, mental health is also essential right now. Trying times like this make us become more mindful of our family, of our relatives, of our friends. Kahit nga yung mga nasa malalayong lugar na minsan lang ninyo makausap, di ba? Kinukumusta mo na. Nangyayari yan. Sa akin nangyari din yan. Yung mga matatagal mo nang hindi nakausap, gumawa ka ng paraan para kumustahin sila kung anong nangyayari sa kanila. Totoo lahat yan. And we will do everything just to have simple kumustahan with them. In some cases, people were reconnected with each other, tulad ng sinabi ko kanina. Mga matagal nang hindi nag-uusap, biglang nagkaroon uli ng pagkakataon na magkumustahan dahil sa pandemyang ito. And some relationships were revisited. Yung mga noon na naakala nila mukhang hindi na mag-workout ang mga relationships dahil sa pandemyang ito din. Marami silang na-realize, marami silang napagtanto at yun yan, natutunan nila na mas kailangan nila yung mga minamahal nila sa buhay more than ever. And even lost friendships were rekindled. And just because of simple kamustahan during this pandemic. So, to be human is innate to all of us. Carl Rogers, one of the best humanistic psychologists, said that nobody was born to be a bad person. He said everyone was born good. Lahat ng tao ay ipinanganak na mabuti. Walang ipinapanganak para maging masama. And however, kahit sinabi ni Carl Rogers ito, we still need reinforcements to keep it alive in all of us. We need lessons, advices, and even stories that will make us learn how to be more concerned and mindful of each other. Minsan kailangan mo makarinig ng mga aral, ng mga payo, ng mga kwento sa mga tunay na tao para mas matutunan mo yung empathy, para mas matutunan mo kung paano ka magmamalasakit sa kapwa. And with what is currently happening in our society, ano nga ba yung mga nangyayari sa lipunan natin ngayon? Of course, this pandemic, its effect to people, and even social justice issues. Gusto ko isama yung social justice because until now, marami pa rin sa mga kababayan natin ang higit na naapektuhan ng pandemyang ito. At hanggang ngayon din, nangangailangan pa rin sila ng tulong, nangangailangan pa rin sila ng atensyon natin. And with what is currently happening in our society, this is powerful. Education. Education should be the sharpest tool that will lead our students understanding themselves, accepting others, learning empathy, maintaining positive relationships, and making wise and good decisions. Ulitin ko yung mga bagay na kailangan nilang matutunan. This thing, education, should be the sharpest tool for our students to learn how to understand and accept themselves, how to accept others, how to learn empathy, how to maintain positive and healthy relationships, and how to make wise and good decisions. Sabi nga sa kasabihan, may kasabihan tayong laging ginagamit kapag pinag-uusapan natin ang pagpapalaki sa mga bata, sa mga anak. It takes a village to raise a child. Ngayon ang panahon kung kailan natin mas kailangang ituro ang tao at pakikipagkapwa-tao sa ating mga anak at sa ating mga mag-aaral. Kahit magkakalayo tayo, gaya ng sinabi ko kanina, kahit kailangan nating lumayo sa isa't isa, hindi dito matatapos ang pagtuturo ng pagpapakatao at pakikipagkapwa-tao. This is where social and emotional learning of students come into play. Haba ng introduction ko pero sana naintindihan ninyo kung bakit nagsimula ako sa pagpapaliwanag ng kung ano ang physical distancing at ano ang pinagkaiba niya sa social distancing. Let me repeat that. Let us use the term physical distancing because that's what we do. Lumalayo tayo, hindi dahil iniiwasan natin yung tao, hindi dahil ayaw natin makipag-usap sa kanila. Ngunit ginagawa natin ito para maging ligtas. Pero hindi ibig sabihin nun ay lumalayo tayo para tuluyang tapusin ang pakikipag-ugnayan sa mga tao ito. And instead of saying or using the word or term social distancing, we have to use the term social and emotional connectedness. We may be distancing ourselves physically, but we should be connected socially. And again, just like what I said in the previous Viva Learning session, involvement of everyone, the parents, the teachers, and of course the system is the main success indicator of social and emotional learning. The more supportive and involved we are in teaching our students, parents, teachers, administrators, everyone in the ecosystem of learning, the better chance, the higher chance that students will learn the skills and lessons that are essential to their social and emotional well-being. Yan. Students will be able to, gaya ng sinabi ko kanina, students will be able to understand themselves, to recognize the emotions that they are feeling, to recognize the emotions that others are feeling, to accept them, to appreciate other people, whatever their social class is, to build positive and healthy relationships with others, and of course, to make important decisions anchored through a common good. And this is even kahit may global pandemic, kahit may pumipigil na ng COVID-19 sa mga mekanismong ginagamit natin. This is even if a global pandemic hinders our children from being in a close physical proximity with their teachers, with their friends, and with other schoolmates. This is why mental health practitioners acknowledge the statement of our DepEd Secretary, Madam Briones. Sabi niya, she said, the first week of classes will focus on psychosocial counseling. I thought giving attention to the students' psychological well-being while assessing how their relationships with their family members, with their relatives, with their friends, or with anyone in their circle are going is a great way to start this very one-of-a-kind academic year. Ayan, magandang simulan. Nagpapasalamat tayo as a counselor, nagpapasalamat tayo sa statement na ito ng kalihim ng edukasyon dahil pinapakita lang ng Department of Education na nagbibigay sila ng pagpapahalaga sa mental health ng mga mag-aaral. Ayan. Kaya itong presentation na ito, because I know yesterday, I think last night, Brother Aguirre was able to deliver almost the same topic, social emotional learning at home. Iiwasan natin na magkaroon ng overlapping. I think it will be safe to say that pasensya na masyadong maraming komplikasyon itong araw na to, so maraming notifications na lumalabas. Again, it is safe to say na yung ibinigay ni Brother Aguirre kahapon may be coming from a teacher's or administrator's perspective. This afternoon sa Saudi Arabia, this morning, this presentation will be coming from a guidance counselor's perspective. And muli, nagpapasalamat ang mga guidance counselor, nagpapasalamat ang mga mental health sa ganitong anunsyo ng DepEd. May malaking papel ang school counselors dito sa academic year na ito. At bukod sa mga guro, school counselors should be able to reassure that mental health is being prioritized for the students. Mahalaga na bigyang pansin, mahalaga na tutukan ang mental health ng ating mga anak at ng ating mga mag-aaral sa panahong ito dahil bagong-bago ito sa kanila. May mga bata, may mga mag-aaral na hindi pa rin siguro naiintindihan kung bakit ganito ang nangyayari ngayon sa bansa natin at sa buong mundo. Kaya sa tuwing nalilito sila, dapat laging nandyan ang mga magulang, syempre sila ang mauuna, and sasabayan yan ng mga guro at ng guidance counselors or school counselors in some schools. So, what is social and emotional learning? So, ngayon pala ako magsisimula mag-discuss ng main topic. Masyadong mahaba yung introduction pero I really felt the need for me to discuss all of those previous slides because we need to be on the same boat here. Kailangan nating maintindihan muna kung ano ang pinanggagalingan ng social and emotional learning sa panahon ng pandemyang ito. So, SEL, social emotional learning, it's according to Collaborative for Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning, or CASEL. Uh, it is the process through which our learners and even adults like parents and teachers try to understand and manage their emotions. Yan. Inuunawa at sabihin natin kinokontrol ang mga damdamin na nararamdaman. Ano man yan, galit, ah, kaligayahan, kalungkutan, ano man ang nararamdaman, dapat kilalanin ito, dapat maintindihan kung ano ang ibig sabihin nito, dapat maintindihan kung bakit nararamdaman ang mga bagay na ito. At kung minsan sumusobra ang pagpapakita ng nararamdaman, kailangan matutunan din ng mga bata at syempre ng adults, ng mga matatanda na nagiging role models ng mga bata kung paano kontrolin yung kanilang feelings or emotions, kanilang mga nararamdaman. Number two is for children and for adults to learn how to set and achieve positive goals. Gaya nung sa mga nakapanood last Friday, gaya nung sinabi natin sa Facebook live session, parents should help their children to make attainable and real goals. Diba? Hindi tayo magiging sobrang um, expecting, especially now that there is a big crisis that is happening. But we can still lead our children with the help of our teachers, set attainable and positive goals. And of course, hindi lang siya pinaplano, hindi lang siya sinusulat, hindi lang siya pinag-uusapan. Dapat gumagawa rin ng mga paraan para ma-achieve ang mga goals na pinag-usapan ninyo. Number three is, this is very important, to feel and show empathy for others. Gasgas na itong kahulugan ng empathy na ito, no, yung putting yourself in the shoes of others. Sa Tagalog, inilalagay mo yung sarili mo sa kung ano ang nararanasan ng kapwa, di ba? And if we are really able to learn how to empathize, kapag natututunan natin kung paano maramdaman kung ano ang nararamdaman ng kapwa natin, mas natututo tayong makipagkapwa-tao. And in counseling, we always say, the school counselors, we always say, instead of, I understand what you feel, we say, I feel what you feel. And it should be sincere. You should really feel what others are feeling at the moment. And that is empathy. Tinuturuan kang maintindihan at maramdaman kung ano ang nararamdaman at pinagdadaanan ng kapwa. Lalo na doon sa mga kailangan talaga ng counseling, kailangan talaga ng taong may makikinig sa kanila. Number four is to establish and maintain positive relationships. Parents, let me remind you this. Relationships start with you. Yan. Kung anong klaseng pakikipag-ugnayan, kung anong klaseng relationship ang ipinakita ninyo sa inyong mga anak, ganun din ang maipapakita, ganun din uri ng relationship ang malaki ang posibilidad na ganun din ang madala nila kapag ibang relationship na ang pag-uusapan, pakikipagkaibigan, or for young adults, romantic relationships. So as early as binad sa mga baby, sa baby pa lang, because in psychosocial stages of development, the first stage is for the babies to learn either to trust or to mistrust. So kung maaga pa lang, pagkapanganak pa lang ng inyong mga anak, ay natutunan nilang magtiwala sa inyong mga magulang dahil ibinibigay ninyo ang kanyang mga pangangailangan, magandang umpisa ito para magkaroon ng positibong pakikipag-ugnayan at relasyon. At malaki ang tsansa na kapag ganitong uri ng relasyon ang binuo ninyo sa tahanan, paglabas ng mga anak ninyo, kapag nakipag-ugnayan sila sa ibang mga tao, ganung uri din ng relasyon ang gugustuhin nila, ang nanaisin nilang ah, relasyon na gaya ng nasa inyo. And last, another important thing is SEL or social emotional learning empowers Hi ma'am.
Hi po. Sige po, sir. Continue lang po.
Sige po. Sorry ma'am ah.
Okay lang po. Thank you.
Okay. I'm sorry about that. And when we talk about making responsible decisions, we have to always consider the common good. And we have to know what the consequences of our actions will be. We have to know what will happen if we choose to do something other than the other choices, di ba? Ang paggawa ng desisyon ay hindi lamang nagmumula or hindi lamang natututunan kapag matanda na, pagka malaki na. As early as 3 years old or maybe even younger, maaari na nating ituro sa mga anak natin ang paggawa ng tamang desisyon. Now, what is the philosophy of SEL? Basically, its philosophy is that a person's life skills are as important as his or her technical skills. Ayan. Yung mga bagay na binanggit ko kanina, pagkilala sa emosyon, pagkilala sa mga tunay na nararamdaman, uh, pagkilala sa mga nararamdaman ng ibang tao, pakikipagkapwa, pagbuo ng magandang relasyon, paggawa ng magagandang desisyon sa buhay. Kasing kahalaga yan ng mga bagay na itinuturo din sa paaralan like the technical skills, especially in science, in math, even in English. Hindi natin pwedeng sabihin na may mas matimbang dyan. Kailangan lagi nating sasabihin na magkasing timbang ang life skills at ang technical skills na natututunan ng mga mag-aaral. Now, in this diagram provided by the Collaborative for Academic Social and Emotional Learning or CASEL, sinasabi dito na may mga 5 kailangan matutunan ang mga mag-aaral na itinuturo ng mga magulang at ng mga guro. Yan. The first is self-awareness, second is self-management, followed by social awareness, then relationship skills, and then responsible decision making. Okay. Now, the role of the system, makikita ninyo dito, this one, the schools. When we talk about the schools, we will be using the word the system, the education system. Yeah. The role of the education system is to make sure that all policies and practices are being done. And it should be school-wide. Yan. Sa buong paaralan, dapat lahat ng rules, ng regulations, ng polisiya ay ipinapatupad sa buong paaralan. The second thing that we have to discuss is the role of the teachers. Ito na yun, sa classrooms here. In the classroom, the teachers should be able to deliver the essential curriculum and instructions and lessons that are anchored to social and emotional learning. Mamaya pag-uusapan natin kung paano siya i-deliver sa ganitong uri ng platform, which is online learning. And of course, it could be the most important role right now because the students will be staying at home. They will be most of the time living with their parents because of the community quarantine. The role of the parents. And here, the role of the parents, family and community partnerships. Parents should make sure that they establish strong partnerships most of the time. I'm trying to say what I'm trying to say here is that we have to make a constant communication, an open communication with the students' teachers. Because number one, kayo ang laging makakasama ng mga bata dahil nasa bahay sila nag-aaral. At number two, kayo ang magmo-model ng mga behavior, kayo ang magmo-model ng attitude na kailangan matutunan ng mga anak ninyo. And this is to make sure that whatever value or life skill is taught in an online class, parents can follow it up by modeling the right behaviors, by giving stories that may be essential for the learning of the students. Meaning to say, social emotional learning is a mechanism that needs involvement of all parties. Sinabi ko rin to dati sa Facebook live sessions, it really needs the involvement of all parties. The school, including the teachers, of course, the system, the Department of Education, and of course, home, which is the parents. And when one party fails to be expected of them, students are really the ones getting affected. Yan. Hindi nila natututunan ng maayos, hindi nila natututunan ng tama ang pagpapakatao at pakikipag kapwa-tao. Ngayon, ano-ano nga ba yung mga kailangan matutunan ng mga estudyante, ng mga anak natin sa panahong ito ng COVID-19 at sa panahon na meron pa rin hindi pagkakapantay-pantay na katarungan sa lipunan natin. Yan, ito. Isa-isahin natin. Self-awareness. When we talk about self-awareness, this is the ability to accurately recognize one's emotions and thoughts. Yan. Kapag natututunan ng bata na kilalanin kung ano yung mga tumatakbo sa isip niya at kung ano yung mga nararamdaman niya, mas nakikilala niya kung sino siya. Mas nakikilala niya ang kanyang sarili. And this includes an accurate assessment of one's strength and limitations. Yan. Kasama sa pagkilala sa sarili, especially ng ating mga mag-aaral, ay ang tanggapin kung ano ang mga kakayanan niya at kung ano yung mga bagay na kailangan pa siyang mag-improve. Importante na malaman din ng mga mag-aaral ang mga bagay na yan. And of course, possessing well-grounded sense of confidence and optimism. Studies show that when a person knows well himself or herself, he or she becomes more confident about everything. And he or she becomes more optimistic on life. Bakit mahalaga? Why is it essential to teach self-awareness to our students in times like this, in crisis like this? We are in a very serious crisis right now. Hindi natin in-expect, hindi natin inasahan na tatagal ng halos 6 na buwan na yata ang community quarantine sa Pilipinas. Walang nag-isip na tatagal ng ganito ang problema sa COVID-19. Dahil sa kamalayan natin, sa buong buhay natin, nagkaroon ng mga epidemya, nagkaroon ng mga sakit, pero ito na yata yung and walang may gusto na mangyari ito. So bakit essential? Bakit importante na pag-aralan ang self-awareness in times like this? Because we are in a crisis and we do not know how long this crisis will take. Walang nakakalam kung kailan matatapos ito. And it is very important that we, elders, the teachers, the parents, the elder relatives, help the young individuals process what they feel right now. Sabi ko nga kanina, maaaring may mga bata, may mga mag-aaral pa rin na hindi pa rin naiintindihan kung ano ang nangyayari sa mundo. Nalilito pa rin sila. And if we, adults, are there for these children who are really confused about what is happening, about what they really feel, about what is happening, it will be easy for them to process the emotions that they are having. Yan. Kasi minsan hindi pa rin nila naiintindihan, hindi pa rin nila alam kung ano ba talaga yung nararamdaman nila. Ang alam lang nila, nalilito sila at kailangan nila ng sagot. And of course, bilang bata, being children, we know that they will be trying to look for answers kapag may mga tanong sila sa sarili. And we might as well want to be the source of those answers. Mas tiwala tayo kapag sa ating manggagaling yung sagot, lalo na kung may tamang paggabay mula sa atin. We have to be the first people, the parents, the teachers, other elder relatives, to help these young learners acknowledge that it is okay to feel bad at times. Sabihin sa mga bata na kung hindi maganda ang kanilang nararamdaman, kung nalulungkot, kung nagagalit, sabihin sa kanila, we can normalize this. Sabihin sa kanila na it's okay to feel bad, it's okay to feel sad at times. Diba? It is okay to be frustrated at times, and maybe it is okay for you to be angry, especially in this time. Ito yung mga panahon na naiintindihan natin, nauunawaan, nararamdaman natin kung ano yung nararamdaman dapat ng mga anak natin at ng mga estudyante natin. And more importantly, we have to assist these young learners in processing their feelings. Hindi matatapos ang pakikipag-usap sa mga bata, sa mga anak, sa mga mag-aaral sa pagsabing okay lang 'yon, no? Hindi. Siyempre dapat tutulungan natin sila na iproseso kung ano yung nararamdaman nila. Bakit nila naramdaman 'yon? Ano yung pinagmulan ng emotion na 'yon? At you have to end the conversation by looking for resolutions. And that is always the end goal of any counseling session. Hindi lang puro problema ang pinag-uusapan, hindi lang puro concerns ang dapat na natatakal. Dapat every time the conversation will end, kahit gaano kasimple ang pakikipag-usap ng magulang at ng anak o ng guro at ng mag-aaral, dapat laging resolution. Sa resolution natatapos ang conversation. Yan. You can say that, halimbawa ito, you can say that you may have lost something, some privileges, for example, going outside, playing with your friends, or gumimik sa mga kabarkada in the case of our young adults. Yan. Pwede mo sabihin yung mga yon, you may have lost some privileges and it is okay to feel bad about it. But pwedeng sabihin, right after that, pwedeng sabihin na I can help you gain new experiences. Pwede natin pag-usapan kung ano yung mga pwede nating bagong gawin. And I can help you, I can be with you in gaining those new experiences that you may enjoy. Yan. When students are fully aware of themselves, including their emotions, including their thoughts, and these people, these young individuals will not be afraid to express. Diba? And when they are not afraid to express, kapag hindi sila natatakot na sabihin kung ano yung nararamdaman nila, especially sa mga magulang at syempre sa mga guro din, we tend to fully know them. Mas nakikilala natin sila ng mas maayos without even exerting an effort to talk to them. Yan. Minsan sila na yung magsasabi, sila na yung lalapit sa atin, sila na yung magbabanggit ng mga nararamdaman nila, ng mga problema nila. At napakagandang pakiramdam noon para sa mga magulang at sa mga guro kapag nilalapitan sila ng mga anak nila. They don't need to exert any effort para lang makipag-ugnayan, para lang malaman kung ano yung tumatakbo sa isip at kung ano yung nararamdaman ng kanilang mga anak, ng kanilang mga mag-aaral. Napakahalaga nun, and sana self-awareness will be integrated in any lesson that the teachers will have for online classes. And of course, self-awareness should be modeled by the parents, lalo na nasa bahay sila. So mamaya pag-usapan natin kung paano maimo-model ng mga magulang, syempre ng mga guro din, ang value na ito, because this is really important. It is the start of making good relationships with others, and of course having the empathy for others. The next lesson that social and emotional learning wants us to learn is the value of self-management. Yeah. When we talk about self-management, this is the ability to regulate or control one's emotions, thoughts, and behaviors effectively in different situations. Kung kanina sa self-awareness, kinikilala natin kung ano yung nararamdaman natin, kinikilala natin kung ano yung mga tumatakbo sa isip natin. Kapag sinabi natin self-management, gumagawa na tayo ng paraan para kontrolin. Ayan. Kailangan may regulation sa pagpapakita ng emosyon. Kailan ka pwedeng maging ganito? Kailan mo pwedeng ipakita na sobrang masaya ka? Kailan mo pwedeng ipakita na sobrang nalulungkot ka? Although we acknowledge those emotions, sabi nga natin kanina, we can always say that it is okay. Whatever you're feeling, it is okay. We still need to teach our students, our children, the value of self-management. This includes, because this is very essential, this includes managing stress, controlling the impulses, yan, especially sa mga bata natin mag-aaral, yung managing impulses, kailangan matutunan nila yan. And motivating oneself. Yan. Kapag controlled ang isang individual, mas nakakapag-focus siya sa sarili niya, mas nakakapag-focus siya sa mga goals niya, at mas namomotivate niya yung sarili niya para i-achieve ang kanyang goals. Ayan. Another important thing is for us to teach our children and our students to work hard towards achieving those personal and academic goals. Ano man ang gustong marating ng anak at ng isang mag-aaral, lagi tayong dapat nakagabay para sa kanila. And self-management, this value is allowing our students and our children, to be two things. Number one, they can be well-mannered. Yan. May kabutihang asal silang naipapakita. Kasi nakokontrol nila. Halimbawa, may isang grupo na nalulungkot or nagluluksa because of something that is very devastating. May nangyaring hindi maganda. Alam nila kung kung kailan kailangan kontrolin ang ang behavior, 'di ba? Alam nila na hindi dapat matawa, alam nila na hindi dapat tumawa sa mga ganung pagkakataon. Yan. So, the first thing that they can learn is they can be well-mannered if they will apply self-management. Another thing is they can be goal-oriented. Kaya nga ng sinabi ko kanina, if a student is able to control himself or herself, that's the time that he will be focusing on himself or herself. And when the student is focused, uh, the student will become more motivated, and in return, because of a good motivation in them, they can be able to try to achieve the goals that they really want to achieve. Yan. Kapag natutunan nila ang mga leksyon na mga ito, natututunan din nila kung kailan kailangang tumahimik, kung kailan kailangang magsalita, ba? And uh, there is a simple way, may payak na paraan ng pagrespeto sa dignidad ng sarili at sa dignidad na rin ng kapwa niya. At dahil kasama ang development ng motivation sa self-management, mas nagiging masikap ang isang mag-aaral, ang isang bata, ang inyong anak sa pag-abot ng kanilang mga pangarap. A well-managed self, take note of this, a well-managed self can be converted into a well-motivated individual. And a well-motivated individual can be converted into a successful person. Ang taong kayang kontrolin ng iba't ibang aspeto sa sarili at hindi nagpapalamon sa mga reklamo niya sa buhay, ay tiyak na nagtatagumpay. Yun lang yung gusto nating sabihin doon. At maganda kung sa bahay pa lang at syempre sa paaralan ay nahuhubog ang self-management para sa ating mga anak. Dahil mahalaga na hindi mo lang nakikilala kung ano yung nararamdaman, iniisip mo, mahalaga rin na nakokontrol mo rin yung mga bagay-bagay na tumatakbo doon. So the next lesson that SEL wants us to learn is social awareness. Napakaganda pag-usapan nito. When we say social awareness, it is all about our society. It's all about our community. It's everyone who is living near the community. Palaging napapanahon, hindi ito nawawala sa uso. Hindi siya nawawala sa mga issue na kailangan na pag-uusapan kahit ng mga bata. Yan. This lesson, social awareness, is the ability to take the perspective and to empathize. Pumapasok yung karunungan natin, yung pagkatuto natin para mag-empathize sa kapwa natin. Even with people who are very different from us, yan, including the cultures, including the social classes, yan. Teachers, especially you parents, because you will be staying with your children at home, tandaan na bukod sa science at sa math, bukod sa agham at matematika, o kung ano pang subject, ano pang asignatura na itinuturo sa online class, may isang napakahalagang lesson, may isang napakahalagang leksyon na kailangan matutunan ng isang estudyante. At ito ay ang, gaya na sinasabi natin kanina, pagpapakatao. Ayan. They may have learned who they are, maaaring natutunan nila kung sino sila because of self-awareness. They may have learned how to control themselves and be motivated and try to achieve their goals because of self-management. But it is very important that they should also learn to accept everybody in the community. Ano man ang status ng kapwa nila, magkaiba man sila ng social class, magkaiba man sila ng kultura, magkaiba man sila ng relihiyon, magkaiba man sila ng mga paniniwala, sa pamilya nagsisimula yan, mahalaga na natututunan nilang tanggapin at ma-appreciate ang mga bagay na ito. Dahil dito nagsisimula ang pagpapakatao. At kapag nagiging makatao tayo, pag marunong tayo makipagkapwa-tao, mas naiintindihan natin kung ano yung pinagdadaanan ng kapwa natin, lalo na dun sa mga uh, nahihirapan talaga sa buhay. Yan. So that is social awareness. Pwede nating ituro sa mga anak natin na lahat pwedeng maging kaibigan, lahat pwedeng maging kagrupo, lahat pwedeng maging kasama, basta may kabutihan na ipinapakita. At tunay na kabutihan dapat ang nakikita. Ayan. At dahil kinikilala ng bata, because the child is acknowledging equality for all, bullying becomes zero. Yan. Nawawala. Bullying is lost. Nawawala ang problema sa bullying because there is a respect that is happening in the community, in the school, wherever. Diba? Naiiwasan din yung mga malalang pag-aaway ng mga bata, ng mga estudyante because they acknowledge equality, they acknowledge respect. And I hope that is clear for social awareness. Maaari natin palalimin ito, maaari natin pag-usapan yung mga issue ng lipunan, pero sa ngayon dito muna tayo mag-focus sa mga simpleng bagay dahil I am assuming mas magandang pag-usapan yung mga hinuhubog pa lang natin. So meaning to say, yung mga bata pa talaga na kailangan nating turuan ng mga bagay na ito. So next lesson that students, even parents and teachers should be able to learn from SEL is developing relationship skills. In connection doon sa social awareness, teaching relationship skills in SEL means that we need to develop positive and healthy relationships. Sabi ko kanina, nagsisimula ang magandang relasyon kung naipapakita na ito ng mga magulang sa kanilang mga anak. Ayan. We have to take note that positive relationship is a rewarding relationship. Ayan. Para sa ating mga anak, hindi lang sa isang individual o sa ibang individual nabubuo ang relationships. Meron ding relationships within a group, especially kapag pumapasok na sila sa paaralan. Yan, may mga grupo-grupo na silang sinasamahan. And we have to teach our children, our students, that a good relationship should be positive and it should be rewarding. Kung wala kang nakukuhang maganda, kung wala kang natututunan sa grupo mo o sa kaibigan mo, pag-aralan mabuti, pagnilayan kung tama ba ang sinasamahan. So ganun 'yon. Nakilala mo na 'yung sarili mo, 'di ba? Kaya mo nang kontrolin 'yung mga kilos at mga iniisip mo. Kinikilala mo na rin 'yung pagkakapantay-pantay ng mga tao na nasa paligid mo, sa community mo. Now, what the learner should be able to realize and learn is that there are necessary skills and tools to make and maintain healthy and rewarding relationships with others. Yan, it could be with friends, it could be with relatives, it could be with of course family members, it could be with teachers, almost everyone in the students circle. So what are the skills needed to learn in this lesson? Ano yung mga kailangan matutunan sa leksyon na ito? The most important thing is communicating clearly. Yan. Naituro na to sa self-awareness. So you have to apply this skill, communicating clearly. Sabihin mo kung ano talaga yung nararamdaman, sabihin kung ano yung naiisip, di ba? And listening actively, makinig ng mabuti. At pagka ipinapakita mo, parents, teachers na nakikinig ka sa mga kwento ng bata, natututunan niyo yun, namomodel mo yun sa kanya. Natututo rin siyang makinig ng mabuti para sa kapwa niya. Sa self-management, naituro yun kasi may self-control, di ba? And cooperating. Yan. Sa social awareness naman yan because you are trying to understand other people that is who is in your community. And another important thing that they should learn, since this is relationship skills, is resisting inappropriate social pressure. Kailangan matutunan nila, they have to learn how to resist, especially if this is an inappropriate pressure coming from others. Again, the goal is to maintain healthy and rewarding relationships. And we have to teach our learners this. And most of the time, it is applicable to our teenagers. Kailangan natin ituro ang mga bagay na ito. We have to teach them how to see red flags. Yan, mahalaga yan. Kapag pinipilit ka sa mga bagay na hindi mo gusto, halimbawa, o hindi mo maintindihan kung bakit kailangan gawin. Ayan. Red flag yan. And when our students are fully aware of what a rewarding and healthy relationship is, they also become mindful of these red flags. Yan, mas nalalaman nila na hindi tama ang mga bagay na ipinapagawa sa kanila kapag alam nila kung ano ang ibig sabihin ng rewarding and positive relationships. Again, this is a partnership between parents and teachers. And we have to show consistency with what we are teaching. For example, kung itinuturo ito ng mga magulang sa tahanan, sana may pakita rin ng mga guro. And same goes with if teachers are teaching this in school, sana masuplayan din, sana magtuloy-tuloy din kapag ka nasa tahanan ang mga magulang at ang mga anak. Maituro din dapat ito. Dahil kapag nakikilala na ng mag-aaral ang kanyang sarili, nakokontrol na to, nakikilala na rin yung pagkakapantay-pantay ng iba, tapos alam na rin ang samahan at ang relasyon na makakabuti para sa kanila, nagbibigay ito ng positive effect sa mga mag-aaral. And the next lesson that we need to discuss, and this is the last, is ito yung pagpapasya ng may buong responsibilidad or responsible decision making. What is this? Responsible decision making is the ability to make constructive and respectful choices about personal behavior and our social interactions. Parents and teachers, we should always think about how we could potentially make a student think twice if it's needed. Yan. Hindi masama na i-lead natin yung mga mag-aaral, yung mga anak natin in thinking twice. Yan. You have to reflect on this question. How can we help them make good decisions? You can explain how the choices people make can affect differently. Pwedeng pag may pinili sila, pwede nyo ipaliwanag na kapag may pinili sila, pwedeng maging makasama ito para sa kanila, pwede rin naman makabuti. Diba? At lagi nating ituturo sa ating mga anak at mga mag-aaral na laging piliin ang common good. They should always choose the common good in making decisions. A student should learn that making responsible decisions means respecting the common good. Students must realize that their actions have influence on their quality of life. So sa bawat pinipiling gawin, sa bawat pinipiling sabihin, sa bawat pinipiling pag-aralan, dapat itinuturo natin na ang bawat isa sa mga to ay nakabase pa rin sa kabutihan. Now, here are some sample questions that are worth asking in social and emotional learning. First, for self-awareness. Parents and teachers, you have to take time to talk about emotions with your children or your students. And it should be every day. Pag-usapan lagi ang mga nararamdaman ang mga naiisip. Diba? And you can communicate your own feelings as well. And you can ask them these questions. Kwentuhan kayo, magkamustahan, and ask these questions. What did you feel when it happened? Or what are you feeling right now? Yeah, so basically, parang kamustahan lang. Uh, para mas maintindihan ng mag-aaral ng anak kung ano talaga yung tumatakbo sa isip at nararamdaman niya. Number two is for self-management. Parents and teachers, you can model positive ways of managing stress and disappointment, especially kapag nahihirapan na, nasa-stress na sa online class ang anak o ang estudyante, no? And you can ask the student or the child, is it worth your energy to be angry kapag stressed na? Or kapag tinatamad na siya, kapag nabobore na, you can ask this question, is it worth your time to not be doing anything? Yan. Uh, Let us lead our students to become more motivated, especially now that uh, the platform, the modalities are very new to all of us. And now for social awareness, you can use stories. It can be fictional. It can be a real story from a real person, diba? And this story can be used as long as it touches different social issues. And then you can ask these questions. Um, how would you feel if you are in the same situation as the character in the story? And pwede ring tanungin yung what would you do differently? Yan. Ano yung mararamdaman mo kung nasa sa kaparehas kang sitwasyon ng character sa kwento at kung pwede mong baguhin ang mga ginawa niya, ano yung pwede mong gawin? Yan yung mga bagay na nagtuturo sa kanila ng empathy. Yan yung mga bagay na nagtuturo sa kanilang kilalanin ang pagkakaiba at pagkakapantay-pantay ng bawat isa. For relationship skills, uh, teachers and parents, you can develop your child's ability to resolve conflicts by asking about the situation instead of giving advice right away. In counseling, we discourage advice. Mas magandang nakikinig nga kami most of the time kaysa nagbibigay ng advice. And you can ask these questions. How can you work to make things right? Or what do you think your friend was feeling when the conflict happened? And instead of giving advice to children, make them realize the things that happen and let them make the resolution. Yan. Tinuturuan natin sila na pag-isipang mabuti kung paano aayusin ang mga problema sa relasyon. And lastly, for responsible decision making, this is an application of everything that they should be learning from self-awareness down to relationship skills. You have to communicate the consequences through questions like, ito halimbawa lang to, what might happen if you choose not to wear your mask when you go out during the pandemic? So this is a total application of everything. So active learning na ito, meron na siyang critical thinking involved in the lesson. So do not hesitate, my dear parents and teachers, to challenge your students or children by asking these questions. And do not hesitate, huwag matakot, huwag mangamba na tanungin itong mga to dahil mahalaga yan. Natuturuan natin ang ating mga anak na mag-isip at dumama ng mas maayos. This helps them think with concern and compassion of themselves and of course of others. Now, the question is social and emotional learning possible at home? Well, the answer is a resounding yes. Posible siya. This is as long as we teach it in a safe way. So what do we mean by safe? Safe means sequenced active, focused, and explicit. Let's talk about it one by one. Yan, let us begin with the first, sequenced. Yan, may pagkakasunod-sunod, may sistema. Yan, ganyan ang ibig sabihin. May level, may antas. The principle promotes connected and coordinated sets of activities to foster skills development. Again, may pagkakasunod-sunod, may sistema yung bawat kilos at bawat pagtuturo na ginagawa natin. Hindi ka basta-basta magtuturo halimbawa ng values o life skill ng bara-bara lang. Pwedeng simulan sa mga kumustahan, pakikipagkwentuhan, pakinggan yung mga kwento ng estudyante, pakinggan yung kwento ng anak, at sa kwento ng mga batang ito, sa kwento ng mga mag-aaral na ito, kukuha tayo ng essential details na pwede natin gamitin sa pagbabahagi mo naman ng kwento mo. Pagbabahagi mo ng mga gusto mo namang ituro sa kanila. Halimbawa, gusto mong gamitin yung pandemic na ito para matutunan ng mga estudyante mo, ng mga anak mo yung self-awareness, halimbawa. Yeah. Maaari mo siyang kumustahin, doon tayo magsisimula. Makipagkwentuhan ka sa kanya, tanungin mo kung ano yung nararanasan niya simula nung nagkaroon ng community quarantine, simula nung nagkaroon ng pandemic. At sa mga nararanasan niya, tanungin mo kung bakit niya yung nararamdaman, tanungin mo kung natatakot ba siya, kung nalulungkot ba siya, kung may pangamba ba, at tanungin kung bakit. Laging tanungin kung ano yung dahilan ng nararamdaman niya. This helps the student, the child, to bring his or her emotions to his or her consciousness. And that's what sequence means. May pagkakasunod-sunod. Hindi ka tatalon from one activity to another nang hindi natatapos yung bagay na nasimulan mo. You cannot bring out emotions to their consciousness without doing the first step, which is inquiry. So sa inquiry, dito natin magagawa, dito natin mas maintindihan kung ano talaga yung nararamdaman ng mga anak at mga mag-aaral natin. Next is we teach values and life skills actively. Because active forms of learning are more effective to help students master new skills. This is in connection to the first element, which is sequenced, yung may sistema. Even at home, kahit nasa bahay tayo, when we give activities that will make them realize a value or a life skill, that is already a win for us parents and teachers. Halimbawa, tungkol ulit sa pandemic, tungkol ulit sa COVID-19, the value that you want to target, for example, is self-management. And again, sabi nga kanina, self-management is the ability to control ourselves, our urges, our impulses. And you may want to teach your child or your student of being more understanding of the world right now. And magbigay ng activities. Activities like sharing stories about how the pandemic has affected every person, no? Mas maganda kung mas totoo yung mga kwento na i-share ninyo. Or syempre, pagka sa mas bata, gawing mas creative yung pag-share ng kwento. Yan. When we are sharing stories about the real things that are happening during the pandemic, you are making the learner actively listen while becoming more accepting and not just frustrated about our current situation. Hindi na lang iisipin ng mga anak or ng mga mag-aaral na nakakainis yung community quarantine or yung lockdown. Mas maintindihan nila kung bakit nagkaroon ng ganun. Hindi na sila maiinis kahit alam nila na hindi pa sila makakalabas, hindi pa nila makikita yung mga kaibigan nila dahil mas maintindihan nila kung bakit nangyari ang mga yon. And active forms of learning will easily help the students acquire the values that you are targeting. Next is for the lesson to be focused. Of course, there should be a goal for every learning event. Teachers and parents whether students are having an online class or they are just resting after the class. Dahil nasa bahay naman talaga sila, the objectives of social and emotional learning should always be clear to them. Yan. There should be an emphasis on developing personal and social skills. This is where modeling of behavior comes into play. Halimbawa, kung ang mga tinuro ni nanay or mga tinuro ni tatay uh, na nagawa na sa bahay, no? Kailangan ma-supplement ni teacher yon through lessons. And same goes with parents. Alamin yung mga tinuturo na ni teacher, tapos i-model yung mga tamang behavior para nagiging consistent yung pagtuturo ng mga values na kailangan matutunan ng mga bata. Next, and this is the last, lessons should be explicit. Yan. Lessons at home for social and emotional learning should be explicit. Parents and teachers must be clear what social or emotional skills they are targeting. Yan. Balik tayo sa sequence. Sabi doon, may sistema, may pagkakasunod-sunod. Ganun din ang gustong sabihin ng magiging explicit ng lessons kapag sa bahay itinuturo ang social emotional learning. Again, most of the time mga magulang talaga ang magtuturo nito dahil magkakasama sila sa bahay, nagiging supplemental lang si teacher. Pero kailangan pa rin maging klaro, even with teachers, that the target values and life skills should be specific. Ayan. Kung ano yung values or skills na tinuro ng school, sa halimbawa in a span of 1 week, ano yung values na itinuro doon sa buong linggo na yon, dapat doon magtuon ng pansin si parent. Yun yung mga bagay na dapat sinisimulan niya ng i-model, yun yung mga behavior na dapat na sinisimulan niya ng ipakita sa kanyang mga anak para may consistency, para alam, nakikita ni student or ng anak kung anong value yung ipinapakita or itinuturo sa kanya. Yan, ganito lang yan, communication and partnership. Kapag si teacher at si parent ay palaging nag-uusap, nalalaman nila ng mas tama kung ano ang progreso ng mga mag-aaral. So again, social emotional learning or SEL is possible if the manner of delivering the lesson is safe, sequenced, active, focused, and explicit. Now for teachers, although most of the lessons will be modeled by the parents at home because of the current setup, online learning, nasa bahay ang mga anak, the educators can still be supplemental in the process. First, teachers, you can incorporate these lessons to teach coping strategies to students, especially those who are affected by the pandemic, or even if you have students who were victims of abuse, for example. You can use the lessons to help them cope. The simplest way of doing this is by integrating values to your lesson. So kahit science teacher ka, halimbawa, or English, or math, you can always integrate values that are incorporated with social emotional learning. And this is to promote mental health. This is to promote psychological well-being of our students. Second, maximize what the internet or the web is offering us. There are a lot of lessons readily available. Castle, for example, they offer a wide array of lessons that may tackle the 5 values. And third is for parents and teachers, this is a partnership. So parents and teachers, you should be able to discuss the resources that you can make to really address the needs and concerns of your children and students. This basically boils down to communication, my dear parents and teachers. I will repeat what I said last time when I guested in the Facebook live session. This is a unique school year. This is one of a kind academic year for all of us. This is new to all of us. And expect that we will struggle, we will be frustrated, we will feel the pressure. However, I also said that this is an important time of our lives as people who shape these young learners. And napakahalaga ng panahon na ito uh, bilang uh, mga taong humuhubog sa mga kabataan. Whether magulang ka o guro ka, importante ang panahon na ito. These people, these young learners really need our stories. They need our valuable lessons and they need our partnership. All of this are for our learners to know what their role in this world is. Their tendency to be more purposeful may be in your hands. Yan. Kapag ka alam nila kung sino sila sa mundong ito, kung ano ang halaga nila sa mundong ito, mas naipapakita nila yung halagang iyon, mas nagagawa nila yung mga bagay na dapat nilang gawin para maipakita yung role nila, hindi lang sa pamilya, hindi lang sa lipunan, kundi sa buong mundo. Yan. So make the most of your moments with them, my dear parents and teachers, even to the most annoying students. Yan, walang maiiwan. Yan, lahat sama-sama. Teach them the valuable lessons, share with them the important stories, and malay mo, itong mga annoying na mga estudyanteng ito pala, ganitong uri yung tinatahak na landas sa buhay. Hinihintay lang pala nila tayong tulungan natin sila. So, let us not distance ourselves from them socially. Again, palagi kong sasabihin ang bagay na ito. Now is the time that these young learners ever. With that, I thank you for staying and listening. Pasensya na sa mga komplikasyon na nangyayari dito sa paligid ko. Maraming notifications na natatanggap. Salamat sa pag-stay, salamat sa pakikinig. I hope you caught points that you may use for your classes and for your family at home. Muli, salamat sa mga gurong nagsisilbing liwanag at sa mga magulang na nagpapaningning ng aming ilaw. Mabuhay po kayo lahat. We can now proceed with question and answer. And because not everyone will be accommodated, I just want to say that you can always leave a message through my Facebook account. Pwede rin sa The Counseling Kit, that is my page. Or if you have time to read, mahilig po tayong magsulat ng saloobin natin na nangyayari, especially with mental health, psychology, and the society, and of course, education. You can visit kitjguzman.wordpress.com or the Unorthodox. Magpadala lang po ng mensahe. Lagi po tayong handang mag-respond. Muli, maraming salamat po at mabuhay po kayong lahat.
Thank you so much, sir. Now we will proceed with the question and answer po. The first question po is from Mr. Al Cameron Avila. Most of the time, parents pressure their children to get high grades and feel disappointed if their children can't do this. Worse, reprimand them and compare them to others. How is SEL applied to this?
Yes. Una, just like what I said a while ago, we have to teach self-management. Siguro hindi lang sa mga bata talaga dapat ituro itong self-management na ito. I think parents, especially those who are pressuring their children so much with their studies. Ganito, again, teachers, you can only do this much. May mga bata na magkukwento sa inyo, especially sa mga counselors, may mga bata daan na magkukwento na pinapressure sila na hindi nila kaya yung pressure at home. you can only do this much. You can listen to your students. You can give counseling. You can give them the best advice or the best guidance that you can give. But it's always the parents. Sa mga magulang po, let me address the parents. This is a one of a kind school year. Kung sa face-to-face learning, masyado na tayong nagiging a burden at times, no? Nakaka-pressure na masyado yung mga naipapakita natin sa mga anak natin. You might want to revisit your parenting styles, my dear parents. Kasi again, this is a new school year. Lahat tayo mape-pressure dito, totoo naman 'yan. Pero the main priority of this academic year is the health and safety of our children. Again, this was tackled in my previous Facebook live session. Maslow before Bloom. We have to make sure parents, we have to make sure that the basic needs of our children are being met. Lahat ng mga pangangailangan ng mga anak natin dapat natatanggap nila. At kapag naramdaman nila na natatanggap nila yun, that's time that they can perform all the things that the Bloom's taxonomy is presenting to us. Mas motivated sila kapag nararamdaman nila na safe sila at nabibigyan sila ng pagpapahalaga, especially ng mga magulang. So for teachers, we can only do this much. We can give counseling, we can give advice, we can motivate our students, but it will always boil down to how the parents treat their children. So please parents, alamin, pag-aralan mabuti, pagnilayan kung paano natin minamanage ang pamilya, especially ang mga anak during this pandemic, during this online class, because again, nakaka-pressure na siya ngayon pa lang. So what more kung nagtutuloy-tuloy na araw-araw na yung klase. So please make sure that the basic needs are being met, especially the comfort, the care, the concern, and we will be the main source of it. So hangga't maaari, intindihin natin yung mga anak natin. They will be successful because we are supporting them. Pero yung pag-pressure sa kanila, pag-aralang mabuti. Yun lang po, thank you.
Thank you so much. Our next question po is from Miss Lilia Del Mundo. If both parents are working and they will tend to their children for their distance learning at home, how can they manage and express emotions while assisting them in their distance learning given that they already stressed out at work?
Thank you, Miss Ina. The important thing that we should be able to do is kahit naman face to face, 'di ba? As parents, we have to kailangan nating maglaan ng oras para sa mga anak natin. This is very essential for our children. When our children feel that the attention is right, the attention given to them by their parents is in right amount, they will be able to express properly. Sabi ko nga kanina, mas nagiging effortless ang pakikipag-usap ng magulang sa kanilang mga anak kapag sa simula pa lang nakakapag-communicate na tayo na maayos. And the secret there, actually it's not a secret, but the important thing that should be done here is at least magkaroon ng oras para makipagkumustahan lang. Yung simpleng kumustahan lang sa mga anak natin. Let's normalize that. Let us make it consistent at home. Yung pakikipag-usap, yung pagtanong lang, yung mga simpleng pagtanong lang kung kumusta ka. At pwede pa rin naman sabihin na stressed, napagod si tatay, napagod si nanay sa trabaho, o kaya may problema si nanay at si tatay. Mas nagiging maganda yung takbo ng pamilya kapag mas nagiging open ang communication. Pero syempre, hangga't maaari kapag stressed, self-management, kontrolin muna ang sarili bago makipag-usap sa anak kasi baka mamaya sa anak naman maibaling yung kung ano man yung pinagdadaan. So, ganun lang po. Thank you, Miss Ina.
Okay po, sir, that's all the questions that we have for now. Any last reminders for our viewers for this afternoon?
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. My dear parents and teachers, again, let me reiterate what I said a while ago. Uh, this is the time that the students and our children need us. This is the time where social and emotional connectedness is important. We may be physically distancing ourselves from our learners, especially for the teachers, but it doesn't mean that social and emotional connectedness should be lost. Ituro natin ang pagpapakatao at ang pagiging makatao dahil sila ang mga susunod na leader, sila ang mga susunod na mga profesional pagdating ng tamang panahon. Yun lang po, maraming salamat.
There we have it. In behalf of Evolve Group Incorporated, I would like to thank you, Sir Martin, for for being our speaker this afternoon, for giving our viewers an insightful and inspirational learning session. It is always an honor to have you with us. And to all our Kabibal viewers, all thanks to you and for your continuous patronage to our daily learning session. Muli, magkita-kita tayo bukas sa ating another FB Live. Maraming salamat at magandang araw sa ating lahat.